The final episode of Hello Neighbor Welcome to Ravenbrook Season 1 premiered almost a month ago now, and we've got Seasons 2 and 3 on the way with brand new teasers coming soon. So today I thought it would be fun to jump into a tier list and rank all 6 episodes along with the original animated pilot. This is actually a really interesting one. This released back in 2020 when we had just had the announcement of Hello Neighbor 2. I believe Alpha 1 had just released and we were very much still in that old lore section of the story. Nothing had been retconned yet, the books were still the canon, and this show followed that same plot. Now this episode didn't give us much story, it was just an early pilot. However, it did take place across, I think, Act 1. Nikki did end up going missing in it. We had some little bits of lore that were from the book series. It seems like it was going to tie into that and the rest of the games pretty well. But then for some reason they just never ended up continuing with this version of the story, and 3 years later the animated show is completely different. I'm not that big a fan of this art style. I think it looks kind of weird. So although this is definitely not my favorite that we've seen of the Hello Neighbor animated series, I'm going to cut it some slack because it did start off this series, and we are going B tier with this one. Hello Neighbor Welcome to Ravenbrook's Episode 1 New Neighbors. Can you believe this released almost a year ago now? We are coming up on the first anniversary of this episode. Starting off the series, this episode is what we know Welcome to Ravenbrook's to be now, releasing with Hello Neighbor 2 and becoming the new canon of the Hello Neighbor franchise. On its own, it's also one of the better episodes in this show as well, so I'm giving it an A tier. Episode 2, The Gang Is Alright. Now this episode is a little bit weaker than the first one. Nothing much happens in it. We did have some cameos from those secret neighbor characters inside of the dream sequence, but other than that, pretty weak episode. I'm giving it a C tier. Episode 3, The Pieces. Now you'll remember this episode as one of the longer ones. A lot of stuff happens in this episode, although it's all told through flashbacks. We got a lot of exciting moments, a lot of appearances from Mr. Peterson, and this episode was a huge part in building up to the finale, so I'm putting it up right next to episode 1 with an A tier. Actually, I feel kind of bad about leaving episode 2 in C tier. I think I'm actually going to bump it up one. Episode 4, Is It Kidnapping? Even though it contains the biggest part of the original Hello Neighbor game, Nikki's kidnapping, it's actually the shortest episode in this series. I was disappointed when we didn't see that much of him exploring the house. It only happens in like the last 2 minutes. I'm giving this one an F tier. It might be a little harsh, but compared to some of the other episodes in this series, it's just a bit disappointing. Episode 5, No More Nikki. This was, before episode 6, the best episode in this series. There's not even that much explaining to be done about this one. It was super exciting. Enzo had his bravery storyline. We got a huge look at everything that was going on inside of the Peterson house, and the character of the neighbor was terrifying in all of his scenes. We are going straight up to the top of A tier with this one. Finally, we come to the last episode on this tier list, and the newest episode in this show, episode 6, Search and Rescue. This was the perfect finale to season 1. We had the rescue squad storyline, we had the neighbor fighting the police, we had the introduction of the guest. This episode was huge. I'm sure you'll all agree with me, this goes straight up to S tier. It was super exciting and did a really good job of setting up for season 2, which is coming very soon. So there you go, that is my Hello Neighbor Welcome to Ravenbrook's tier list. All of the episodes including the original pilot. I'll leave this tier list in the description down below if you want to go check it out for yourself, and leave it in the comments. Did you agree or did you disagree with this tier list? Hello Neighbor Welcome to Ravenbrook Season 2 is going to be super exciting, and whenever we get any more news about it, I'm going to be covering it here on this channel. So if you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'm DJ Magones. I'll see you all next time.